KetoCon 2023. It's going to be in Austin, Texas, and yours truly is going to be there on the Saturday event. If I get enough people that get tickets using my code, that they will set something up for a little meet and greet type of situation for me. Check in the description for the link and the code. Not only will it help the opportunity for me to be able to talk to more of you, but you'll also save $50 on your own tickets. And look for Saturday to be the day to have a chance to get together with me. Hey guys, I am back to try to make something that I have never tried before, so we'll see how it goes. I am going to try to make Pemmican. Now, for those of you who have never heard of Pemmican, don't feel bad. I had never heard of Pemmican either until a viewer mentioned it here. Thank you, by the way. I just wanted to give this a try because, you know, I've been doing this experiment while I've been adding fat to my diet, and I've been using some of this beef suet to do that, and I've got about half a pound of beef suet here already prepared, so I thought, I'll give it a try. I did have a little bit of Carnivore crisps ribeye left, so I thought, hey, since I've already got some dried meat and I've already got some good beef tallow, why not see if I can make some pemmican and give it a try, see how it actually tastes. You know, I gotta go to Austin in April, and I'm really worried about how I'm gonna get through for a few days without having my air fryer with me. I sure can't afford to eat out every night, especially in Austin, Texas. So I thought maybe having some pemmican might be a good idea. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous about this video because I've never made anything like this, and I don't have a scale to really weigh out anything. So I'm just going to be eyeballing it. As far as for what pemmican is, I don't want to steal anybody else's thunder. I had to look it up on YouTube myself. So I'm going to put some links in the description for the videos that I watched to give me an idea how to make it. What I did notice is a lot of people don't just use meat and fat, but that's all I'm going to use because I want to make something that's purely lion diet friendly, carnivore diet pemmican. Now, some carnivores do eat some fruits and things like that, so not all carnivores are going to be pure carnivore, but I have found that when it comes to fruit, that I have to just abstain, because when it comes to just about any form of sugar, I have a hard time regulating my intake. So I find it best for me if I just don't have any. And I've been doing so good on lion diet, I don't find a reason to really quit. With the exception of some things I've been able to add, like eggs and shrimp, that haven't really bothered me. Sure, there are things I would like to be able to eat that are not on my diet, but it sure hasn't slowed me down any. And I love this lifestyle. So giving this a try might be the best thing available for me. And it might be that you're in a very similar situation that I am. So I thought I would share with you my adventure with pemmican. At least my first adventure with pemmican. I'm hoping that if this works out, it won't be my last adventure. I've got a pot to melt down the tallow with. I've got a, what do you call this thing? A mortar and pestle that my wife wanted one of these, and I was thinking, oh, what am I going to do with this? Well, I found out that you can grind up the dried meat with a mortar and pestle because I don't have any kind of food processor. A lot of people use an electric food processor, so I like the idea of doing it low tech anyway. The only thing I plan to add that I haven't heard anybody really talk about is I'm going to add some of my favorite salt, Redmond real salt, and I'm also going to throw in some of this cherry smoked salt because I found out today how much I love this cherry smoked salt. So I'm going to add that to some as well and see how it all comes out together. I got some wax paper to wrap it up when I'm done. And I have this silicone egg bites little deal to put the pemmican in, so I'll have some little shapes to the pieces I'm going to have. I could, of course, probably just use this to put the pemmican in when I'm done, but since I didn't put very much, I wanted to try something smaller. Make my first try a small try so I don't waste anything that I might mistakenly mess up. I don't know that there's any particular order that I need to start in, so I'm going to start by putting the beef tallow into my pot with the heat on. You know, a lot of people, I'm sure this isn't going to be the best option for as far as taste goes. The tallow itself doesn't have a whole lot of taste, but I find it delicious because I know what it has in it, and it doesn't taste bad, it just doesn't really have a taste. It's kind of like eating vanilla without sugar. All right, so we got that going. Now the Carnivore Crisps ribeye typically has a little bit of fat on it, and one of the key things they keep telling me about when I've watched these videos is you don't want any of the meat, the fat that comes on the meat, to be there. So we'll take a close look and see if we can't trim that off. This has just a little tiny bit here, so I'll just use my hands to trim it off. So when I'm done, I got a nice piece of dried meat with no fat on it. Fat tends to separate very easy while it's dry like this, so it's not hard to do. And this is only 1.5 ounces of meat, so I shouldn't need very much fat. And if that's close to ½ pound, that's going to probably be about 7 ounces of fat. That's probably going to be too much for just this one little batch. All right, let's give this a try. Oh, this is going to work better than I thought. I felt like it wasn't going to really get it ground up as much as I would be able to need, but it is turning to powder pretty fast. Yeah, this is working real good. So let's see if we can take a look at this and see how it looks. You can see that it's, at least I hope you can see it. It's down to a pretty decent little powder right now. It's not quite as light and fluffy as I've seen on some of the videos where guys are using a processor or a blender to do it, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to look. Alright, so I'm going to take this meat, I'm going to use the same thing I had the fat in before. And I'm just going to try to eyeball some fat to go on it. This is a little hotter than it probably should be. See, this is the thing about doing these things. When they show you on YouTube, they do it all in these quick clips and stuff like that, and you don't get to see all this part of the process. I'm going to let this cool down for just a moment. Hopefully I haven't already ruined my process here. Doesn't look like it. Just sounded like it was cooking the meat again, but I think I want to add a little bit more. This is probably going to fill one of these things up. They were talking about how Pemmican doesn't really make a lot, doesn't yield a lot of food for what you use. Again, this is my first try, so I'm just trying to check it out and see how it looks. Now that I've filled the RV up with smoke, hopefully you guys will avoid making the same mistake I made and trying to put this on while it's still too hot. Alright, hopefully I can still continue this process now that this has cooled down enough where it's not going to cook the meat while I pour it on. There we go. Still a little hot to touch. I'll mix it together with this fork. Oh, I can fit more in there than I thought. Looks like I'll be able to make 2 of these little containers full. Definitely more meat in the second one. So it'll even it out a little bit. And I think mine's going to come out with a little too much fat on one side, but it still should be okay. I'm going to go ahead and put this in the fridge for a few hours now. Let it cool down. Oh, almost forgot. I want to add some salt to it. Just a little bit of salt, regular, and a little bit of my cherry salt. Mix that together. Yeah, that should be good. So if this little experiment comes out okay, maybe I'll have a better round of this when I get some more meat that I dry out myself. This is just my first try to see how it goes, and I'm hoping my house will be built by the time we go to Austin, so I'll have my meat dehydrator out and I can make a little bit more of this, and I'll also have some more suet by then so I can make a larger quantity if this works out. they've been in the refrigerator for about 3 hours now. Let's go ahead and grab some wax paper out so we got a place to put it. Yeah, as I thought, I was going to have a lot of fat on the top, but you know what? It actually looks kind of cool. It's like it's almost like a half an Oreo, but a really good Oreo. Hopefully it's a really good Oreo. And this one even had more fat on top, but you know what? I don't mind. With the salt, the suet tastes so good. Holy cow. Oh, it makes such a difference. So you can see how this looks. Definitely overdid it on the tallow part. Try cutting that piece off. But I'm not going to throw the tallow away. I'm just going to throw it in here with the tallow I had left over from previous. Alright, now let's give it a try. Hey, baby.
How's it taste?
Tastes good. Needs a little more of that cherry salt, but really this is good. It might be just enough. Kind of like eating a piece of granola, but without the awful granola. Yeah, this is just right. This is a survival food I could get behind. And the thing about it is you can wrap it in wax paper and it'll keep for a while, or you can put it in or you can seal it in an airtight bag and it'll last for years. I'm not looking for anything that necessarily lasts that long. I just want something that can get me through a few days where I might not be able to get a hold of the food that I want. The cherry smoked salt was the perfect addition. Oh man, it's a little dry, but I could certainly see how this would be something great on the trail to keep you with energy when you need it and keep you from going hungry. And you can carry it in a small space, and it's packed with nutrients and things that you need to give you energy. Fantastic. Well, I'm going to save the rest of this because the boys wanted to give it a try and Katie wants to give some a try. But that's it for now. It worked out. Carnivore Crisps Pemmican with Redmond real salt and Redmond cherry smoked salt. 2 thumbs up from me. I'll talk to you guys next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?